Hey, my name is Ben, and I've worked with many startups. I've seen many decks. I spoke with VCs, and in the last 3 years, there's really 11 key learning that I made about pitch deck. And in this video, I'll share it with you. And it's everything about how to make a pitch deck and also how to think about traction. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first point I want to speak about is attention is limited. And so everybody knows, like most people know, that VC just spend 2 minutes on your pitch deck. But then the problem is that they don't take that insight to actually build in consequences. If you know someone's going to spend only 2 minutes on your pitch deck, you should make your pitch deck in a certain way. And that certain way is on point two is headline drive understanding. If someone can only spend 2 minutes on your pitch deck, then they'll only be able to read a certain amount of words, right? So you need to concentrate those words in the headline. And so this is what your pitch deck should look like is two headlines that summarize the content of the slide, right? You should be able to read the headline and understand what's below, right? And so in those headline, you should keep it simple. It's okay if your pitch deck doesn't cover the whole thing, right? The goal of the pitch deck is not a presentation on exactly what you do. The goal of the pitch deck is to motivate someone to invest in your company, right? And the first thing is have a first call with them, right? So exactly what you do with all the finesse, we don't care, right? And when you write the headlines, that's the point number four, is you should speak and write like Trump. What do I mean by that? I don't know if you ever had the chance to listen to a speech of Trump. You like it or not, right? But the guy used simple words. It's impossible not to understand what he says, right? It's basic English, right? And so you'll be like, yeah, but am I not going to look dumb if I put simple words and I dumbify everything? And answer is no, because again, if you put more a complex word with complex structure sentences, like I just did, um, in 2 minutes, your brain needs to process more, right? I'm like, oh, trying to understand, and you lose the reader because he understands less. Even someone that made, if you think about analysts, usually they went to university, college, whatever, right? They have great education. But even then, if you only have a few minutes to evaluate something, you want to communicate as fast as possible the information. Then, design does matter. I'm not sure, but I guess you'll be familiar with the halo effect, right? The halo effect is a bias that you associate a positive trait to people you find nice looking. So, for example, me, if there's a woman I find beautiful, I'll suddenly start thinking that she's bright, smart, intelligent, right? And it's not just me thinking that; it's a studied bias, right? And it works the same for pitch deck. And what I've observed, this little meme, is that when someone comes to us for the pitch deck design, it's always either someone very early or repeat founder, Sayers B, Sayers C that need their pitch deck to look nice because they understand the impact of it. And just as an example here, like you look at those, right? Suddenly, how do you feel about it, right? Which one of those seems like someone is professional and someone is not? Someone has potential or not, right? It's just a feeling, right? It's just you look at it, you're like, oh wow, like that's something, right? And is it going to be deck like that can raise? Yeah, they can, right? And actually, this one did raise, and this one also raised, and this one they're currently raising. But my point is that when you're making a pitch deck, when you're fundraising, actually, you need to put every chance on your side. I don't know if that works in English, but it definitely works in French. That's my mother tongue. But the bottom line is like you need to do everything that you can, and doing the design is part of what you can. Then, don't be boring. Tell stories. And you'll be like, how do I tell stories? Well, it's really simple. Let me make an example, right? You start with the introduction. And here you start with a short explanation of your vision, right? Say, hey, we do this thing. And so you start here, right? We do this thing. And there's a huge market for this thing, right? But something is preventing us to access this opportunity. You go down, it's like, oh no, big money, but we cannot. You explain the cause, like we cannot access that market because of this. And then, boom, we are here, the savior, the hero. We are solving that problem. And then we present the proof, which is the traction. That's how you make a subject interesting. If you look at successful pitch deck, they all do it. And if you look at successful movie, they all do it. Now, something really related to that point is that 1 minute pitch, in fact, that's not where you are. 1 minute pitch is possible, right? And no matter the complexity of your startup, let's imagine that you are a company that creates, that's one of our clients, that create complex battery technology with iodes and whatever chemistry, right? It's like, oh, how do I explain that? Right? It's too technical, I cannot explain it. Let me explain it. We are a battery company. Boom. We are a battery company. You simplify it. We don't care. We enable batteries. The market. Did you know that in Europe, by 2030, a petrol car won't be able to be sold anymore? There's a massive need for electric car. Boom, the market. Oh, it's important. I want to care. And all of those cars, they need batteries. But today, battery have short range and suck. Boom. And because they're and this is when you explain the problem, because something in their composition is broken. We fixed this, and we actually already have LOEs with BMW, Volkswagen, and voila, boom, that's your 1 minute pitch, right? You start with, and this is where the key problem is, you start with why people should care about your batteries, and they care because it's a huge fucking market. Now, next point. Use the black mirror effect. What is the black mirror effect? This is one of the biggest fuck up that I see, right? Coming back to what I was saying here, you need to present your problem. And when you present your problem, you need to explain simply what is causing the problem, right? And the impact is too slow, right? The impact is too slow and it's costly because, this chemistry shit is not working, right? And so, or you can do the other way around. This chemistry shit is not working, therefore it's slow and expensive. And then it's super important that if this is your problem, right, you need to link our battery are shitty because of X. And then here you need to say, we fixed X and make it not shitty anymore. Therefore, we make it fast and cheap, right? And you always need to do that. It needs to be super clear. Like you need to state the problem. You need to be super clear that your solution specifically address every component of the problem so that you can unlock the benefit. Now, next. Traction is mandatory. You always need traction, no matter what stage you are. The only thing that change is what traction means. This is a table from the Founder Institute that I found very interesting. They have a program. I don't have a specific opinion on their program, but they collect a lot of data from many different startups. And here, what they say is that if the traction that you need at seed, right, at seed here to go from Series A is from 25K to 200K MR. About my point is like 1 million in MR, but that's usually what I see, right? If you have that traction in seed, then you can go to the next stage. If you are in seed, right? If you're in pre-seed and you want to go to seed, then you need to have from 5K to 25K MR. MR is not the, and in here, this is just for SaaS. I'm not going to cover the other one, but you can just have a look, right? This is standard, right? This is the standard, and it links to my next point, which is there's no anomaly in fundraising, because I'm sure you're reading those headlines, right? It's like Mira Mirtev, Thinking Machine Lab closed 2 billion and 10 billion valuation with no. And the rest of the headline here is with no product. The thing is, you never know what's behind. I just had to look at the deck the other day, and the deck was relatively shitty. And then I learned that the company raised. And what do you know? The founder have exit. The founder have done this. They have a network. And so what you need to understand is that in 100%, 99.99999% of the case, crazy fundraising stories happen because the founder network or background. So if you have that, leverage it. If you don't, get the revenue. And to finish with, again, there's no anomaly in fundraising. Remove it from your brain. It doesn't happen. Do the hard work. That's it. If you want to learn more about how to make a good pitch deck, I'll link just a video here, because now that you have this, this is what you need. How do you actually build a pitch deck? That's it. See you next time.